Hi, this is Kendall. Welcome to Sandman Solitaire. This is a second video that I'm making. If you didn't see the first, I would recommend it. I'll link it in the description. And it gives a brief overview of the game, some of the concepts. This will just go in more detail. So again, that other video, it's about 11 minutes, and it does a good job of just high level stuff. So to dive a little deeper, I did want to mention you can download and print off the PDF for this. Basically, it prints out about 7 pages, and if you have, you could print it on regular paper, and you just use it. It's a little tough to shuffle, but I use sleeves, these really cheap sleeves, and I use a cheap deck of cards give it a little more substance so that they can shuffle better anyway. Another option is if you don't want to go through that, you can use a regular deck of cards, something from the dollar store or cheap, and you can make some modifications. So most of the cards will stay the same. They're just a regular deck of cards. The difference will be the aces, and you can almost just remember what those functions are. In fact, in the printout, there is a card. Let me find that. Okay, so in that printout, there is this green card, and basically it is reference with a standard deck. So it tells you basically when the aces come out, you can just remember what they do, and the Ace of Hearts is a little different because it's a threat, it's desire, so it will tell you what to do when the ace comes out. And you can just remember that aces and fives and jokers, really that's it, have special things, and then just reference, or you could put little stickers on those cards so that it reminds you to check for this reference. So again, it is an option. You can use a reference like this, or you can just mark up the deck like this. So something like the fives, five of spades is death, and write the ability on there, versus having to check the reference and see what the five of spades does. So some choices, and it will make the game a lot easier to play than printing, cutting, potentially sleeving. Although it is super fun. It's fun to see the thematic elements come out, to see Merv come out here. I've graded these out just so you could really, see the face cards, so to speak, which are the threats. And you're trying to defeat these with the resources that you do have. So based on the information I've already gone over, I think the easiest way is to just show you a playthrough. And I will shuffle the cards and we'll go through and just see how well I can do. I'd want to mention that in the printouts, I have these cards where there's a 1 and a 2, basically to show you these go together if you want. And basically it's a way to have all the rules or most of the rules here. I'll also have a link to the full rules document. This is just a little intro just for flavor. It's got the setup. Difficulty level I wanted to go over really quickly here. So I've got 4 difficulty levels, and basically it just means, are you starting with Morpheus on the power side, so you've already got 1 power ready, or on the power depleted side, and how many dream vortexes you put in. So the 2 jokers in the deck are basically the vortexes, and these make the game more difficult. So you can have 4 levels. The Reawakened Dream, which is the easiest, then Dreamweaver, then Prince of Stories, and finally Lord of Dreams. Lord of Dreams is basically the most difficult, so you have no power that you start with, and you put both dream vortexes in the cards before you shuffle. For this game, I'm going to play a little in between. So I'll be the Dream Weaver. So I'll have one vortex, and I will start with the power side. Okay, so I've shuffled, dealt out some cards. We've got Morpheus off to the side. He's got one power available. And first things happen is the highest threat will go first. Lucifer will take possession of an item. So it's right here. Since he's the 13, he'll go first. Next in line will be the Corinthian. The only adjacent card is this 2. And now we will look at the next 4 cards using Destiny's power. And we will place one on the bottom. So we've got a couple threats coming, a diamond and a heart. We do have a diamond out here, which could be useful to attack it. We don't have a heart out yet, but we've also got 2 spades coming. I feel like that's probably the weaker thing. So we'll take one of these spades, the lower one, and put it at the bottom. These other 3, we will just haphazardly place them back on top. Okay, what we can do is we can free up another spot with this 9 here. So that will, if we can get a 4, that will be an exact hit, which will give us power. And that's, I mean, we could put the 5 on there. It just wouldn't be an exact hit. So let's see what we can get. There's another spade. There's a diamond. Okay, so this diamond will be useful against this, up against the cuckoo. But the 12 will go first. It will take this higher card, so it will cover Matthew. The cuckoo will then cover the key to hell. So we can't use this diamond until we can free it. But we do have this 10. Sorry, we have this 5 that we can still use. However, I do think it's worth trying a few more cards just to see what we can get here. All right, 4, which is exactly what we needed, and a diamond. So yeah, we're going to use this 4. This is an exact hit, so we'll flip this over and we'll place it underneath Morpheus. So we've got 2 power now, and Lucifer was defeated thanks to Merv. Merv, good job. And what was this? Merv and the Fire Opal Dreamstone helped us defeat Lucifer. All right, now if only we had a club out here, we could capture this. The minute I place another card, if it's a threat, it will take that. So I think it makes sense to place this, and actually this 3 we can utilize one of our power, and we will get it back. But I'll show you how. So we discard to use the power. It pulls the 3 to a free space. We can then use the 3 for an exact hit, and we gain the power back. So it's a bit of a netting out, but we're using those to defeat the cuckoo. And we've got 3 open spaces. That should work. Let's see. There's our club we need to take the pouch, but this came out, so this will go to the tool and cover it. So we can use a power to free this and then take it, but we lose a power in the process. So we'll see what else we can do here. So we got 2 threats that both need hearts. We do have a club now. These 2 are an exact hit, so that is exactly what we should do. So we will use Destiny and the strength of the Mandrake Woods to overtake the Corinthian with an exact hit. Gain power. All right. So we've got the 3 open spaces, threats that are hearts. Let's see what we get. Okay, Beelzebub comes out. He will take possession of Eve. And we do have some spades. So we've got a 10 and a 2. That's exactly what we want. Lucian to the rescue using the Book of the Dead. So exact hit, we'll place it here. We are stacking up power. So we are feeling lucky right now. All right. Okay. Now, when if another threat doesn't come out, if these were not occupied, this would go to that dream tool. They're just drawn to attacking those. So we'll see if we get another threat. We don't. So this is available, and we have a diamond. So anything 6 or higher will allow us to obtain. So Eve is going to help us obtain the ruby. We can now use this. If we get in a pinch, we can use it by turning it sideways. It'll show it's been used, and you can use it to stack one card like that. All right, but we're going to preserve that. So we'll put it over here. We still don't have any hearts. Let's see if we can get some hearts out here. And we don't. Well, we do. We do have a heart. But the Corazon will take control of Gregory and Goldie. Very rude. So we got the 4. Sorry, we've got an 8. 8 and a 4 would be perfect here. 8 and a 3 is great here. But freeing that pouch of sand only works if we can defeat this. So let's see if we can do this first. Let's do the 6 and the 5 exact hit. Wow, we're actually doing quite well. This is kind of a lucky, a good shuffle, I would say. So we're defeating that. Let's use the 8 and the 3 exact hit, and we have the dream sand. We will obtain it with this 8, and now we have 2 of the tools. So you can replenish anytime you have two open spaces, but you can also wait. And at this point, we've got 7 open spaces. So we will flip over some cards here. Okay. Dream Vortex. So the order this will go, we have got 2 13s. Those will both go, and then the Despair will go, and then the Dream Vortex. And thematically, I feel like this makes sense in the comics. The Dream Vortex is kind of like forming. It doesn't just hit, it kind of builds. So I feel like this makes sense. But let's go with, there can be some strategy in how you do this. I mean, this one, I think, let's see. I think if you recover this one, then this doesn't have an adjacent, oh, sorry. First, we have to cover the tool. So, yeah, I don't know. There's this will just happen. So this will take, and this will cover the 9. Now we'll use Despairs. She would move a damage or a wound. We don't have a wound at this point, so this doesn't take any effect. And then the Dream Vortex will take the highest available card, so the 6 here. Now, to get rid of the Vortex, you need 2 magic, or you take 2 damage, or you can do 1 of each. We have so much magic, we're going to use 2 of these power I keep calling it magic. It's magic in the other original game I made. So we have averted a disaster here with this card. But we still have 4 magic or power. We've got these 2 tools. We're doing all right. Let's see. We've got 6 can go toward these, but I don't know what would be most helpful. We don't have any exact hits at this point. So I think I'll just fill up the cards and we'll see. Okay, no actions take place. We've got a club. Yeah, not quite enough to do what we need. So I think it may make sense to free up some space. So if we do the 6 and a 4, we can hope for a 3 for a good hit there, an exact hit. Actually, no. I'm going to save that. Hindsight here. I want to do this 9 and this 4. So I'm going to use a power to free this, and then I'll get a power back. So discarding this, we are freeing this 9 to an open space. We are going to attack Azazel with a Cain and Abel and the help of this Emerald Dreamstone. And we get a power back. Okay. Trouble is, we don't have a spade that will help us obtain this. So let's see what else. We've got 2 threats that are both hearts, so we're kind of done. Besides, we could make space. We could dedicate this to one of these. I think we'll see what we get. We did get another heart and a 4. Okay, so the Guardians at the Gate here. If we had a 3, that'd be exact. We don't have that, but I think it's worth using. This will free up a diamond. So we've defeated Lita Hall here. Diamond's not helping us, but we'll see what threats come out. Okay, there's a diamond. Okay, so this goes first. It will take the 10, and which would have come in handy. But we can also move 1 Dreamscape card to the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry. It will not take that. It will take the tool, of course. So we can move 1 Dreamscape card to the bottom. I mean, we've got 2 5s. We could save 1 for later. These are not optional. I have to do it. So why don't we move the 6? Move the 6 to the bottom. That'll free up some space. We'll see if we can get a 2 maybe. That could be an exact hit for Thessaly. We do have a 2. How nice. But we also have John D., who is going to take control of Matthew. So, unfortunate. That would be perfect. I think we'll use a power and then we'll net out. So let's do that. We will use the power to free Matthew. We'll attack. And then this 13th scroll. This will be the power back here. Okay. We still don't have a spade to free that up. So let's see if we can get a diamond to attack this or a heart to attack the fates up here. We did get a heart, so that's useful. Although these two together are still not enough, we need to have one of these non-assigned suits. So that is not great for an exact hit, but it does work. We don't have any diamonds, so we might as well. We will use these two, freeze up 2 spaces, and we defeat the fates with the help of death and these other resources from the dreamscape. Okay. All right. We still don't. Oh, we have a spade. We will use the Frontiers of Nightmare, this spade, to obtain the helm. We have obtained all 3 of our tools. We just have to finish the deck. We're down to 6 cards, so we don't have a single wound. I think that's good. Let's see what we get. And this will cover the only adjacent card, which is this 5. So the 7, I think that makes sense. We're not going to get a 6 per se, but we could use these 2. We may want to leave this and just dedicate one of these to this, and let's see what we get in these 2 cards. You can see there's a lot of strategy in trying to get exact hits, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, for instance, this 5 and this 6 would be an exact hit, but we have to use a power, but then we'll get 1 back. So I think that makes sense. We'll go ahead and do it. The 6, we'll use that power to free Despair, and then Despair will give the final blow. And it's an exact hit, defeating Loki and Puck, and it gives us a power on the way out. All right, and the final 2 cards. We should have everything that we need. We will not necessarily have an exact hit. This was dedicated, so we can't move it to try to make some combo. But if we did a 6 and a 4, that does give us an exact hit here. So that all these items and this location in the dreaming help us defeat John D. And this is our ending. We have won the game. There is a scoring technique, which is optional. And basically, you take your power, which we're at 4, minus any wound or damage. We have no damage, so our points are 4 plus 2 for each level above the base difficulty. And we are playing, which difficulty? We've got, we're the Dreamweaver, so we're 2nd from the bottom. So it's these 4 points plus 2, so 6 would be our score. So I did want to show if, a scenario where you might need to take a wound, because we didn't have one. So let's say we had this. There's no threats that we can use these cards on. You have a few choices. If you have some tools, you can stack cards. So you could do that and turn it, so that's used. And then say do that again, and that's used. And now you can keep the game moving because you have some open spaces. If you don't have tools available or you don't have enough, either you have too many threats out or you have too many non-threats and you don't have any threats to play on. You can be in a pinch. And without the tools, you have a couple choices. One, you can take a damage and you basically shuffle all of the dreamscape, what's out here, with the draw pile. You don't do anything with those that you've discarded. Otherwise the game would last forever. So that's one choice. Another is you just take a wound. So Maybe you had one tool, so you were able to stack these cards, and then you just needed one wound. Say you take this as a damage, you put it face up in front of you, and one of the uses for the power is you can defeat the dream vortexes. That's one. You can free a card, as you saw. That's another. You can also move one of these cards to the bottom of the draw pile. So that's a third. And then the fourth is you can actually heal. So you can take a wound. So I discard the power and I take a wound and basically place it at the bottom of the draw pile. So those are some of the things. All in all, I appreciate you watching and checking this out. I am interested in feedback. Check out the PDF of these cards and let me know if, not feedback on the art, it's just placeholder art, but I'm interested in feedback on the choices I made as far as the places within the dreaming, as far as the magical, like the items and the characters. I'd love feedback on that. But then I also would love any feedback on the game, any confusion. I've got a link to the rules. So, yes, I very much appreciate it, and we'll talk next time. Thanks.